Welcome to Cascadia Hockey, brought to you by Buried Puck Threads. My name is Corey Gaston, a voice you haven't heard in a little while. With me, as always, return from the dead, one Mr. Founder, Misanthrope.
That's me.
General Mischief Maker, Aaron Piper.
That would be me. How's everybody doing? It has been way too long.
And it took me forever to download him from the internet, but welcome, Kalouts.
Hello.
And this is our Tragedy and Triumph episode.
Man, episode 20. We hit the episode 20. It's been almost 2 months. When was the last? We put the last one out the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Was when that released, and we were all feeling it that Friday when we recorded.
Yeah.
Like, I think I just have the flu.
Yeah, that's
I just got a little something in the back of my throat. Well, let's back up. We've all had medical experiences this year. Kyle, you had a pretty nasty concussion with some lingering effects that happened. Not now. You're 100% now, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel pretty good. I'm back to playing.
He's still in having
I was waiting for you to go like,
effects.
mashed potatoes.
My favorite color is shoelace.
Yes.
My favorite color is clear. But that one hit you pretty hard.
Yeah, it was
Week to 10 days, you would say.
It was weird because it was still a minor concussion, but it
Right.
affected me differently than the one previously. I had less dizzy spells on this one, but it was a lot of just total exhaustion, being tired.
Why didn't we put out a Houts Concussion 2018 shirt?
We could still do that.
There's still time.
Put a
There's
never
still
forget.
time.
Never forget.
And on the
And
anniversary.
on the back it says I forgot.
Wait, did we forget that?
Just put maybe forget.
Yeah,
We might forget about this, so we made a shirt.
never forget, and it's got the little asterisk on it.
But hold our feet to the fire on this. I
Never
want
forget
this to
with
happen.
question marks.
Yeah. Never forget.
Wait, what are we?
It could
my
be done.
God.
It could still be done.
Making light of brain injuries. That's what we do here.
Fuck, man.
I'm a beer league hockey player, man. You gotta
You gotta accept it,
just
man.
just go with it.
It's not like you have a team doctor.
I'm a beer league hockey fan.
I don't know what's worse at this point.
So you went through that. That was what, October or something?
Yeah, that was October.
Corey,
Yeah.
you were suffering a nasty infection back. Was summertime?
So this is my 2018. Started off with a pretty severe fight with sleep apnea.
Oh, that's right.
That turned into a battle with narcolepsy.
Yeah.
Which was a good time.
Yeah.
It is fun not to fall asleep mid-conversation now. That's pretty cool. Although it did give me a nasty monster habit.
Oh, man.
I have switched to the sugar freeze, which I'm pretty sure is just motor oil. And I don't think Monster is going to sponsor us anytime soon.
Probably not.
So I went through all of that, and right after that happened, I got an infection in my leg that turned out to be 5 infections in my leg.
Wow.
And I am diabetic. I was pretty terrified that I was going to lose my leg or my foot, Thank the doctors. That did not happen.
Right.
I'm very firm on saying thank the doctors because of a bit by Daniel Sloss. Are you familiar with the Scottish comedian Daniel
I know,
Sloss?
the name sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
So he does a bit about Santa Claus, and he was like, parents go through all the rigmarole, and kids come down for Christmas, and they're like, oh wow, this magic tree just shit presents everywhere, and.
I'll show you my bank account, kids. That's not how it works.
Yeah, they open it up and they're like, thanks, Santa.
Yeah.
And the parents are all like, yeah, Santa.
We say
That's how
Santa's
doctors
throat.
feel when you fucking thank God.
Most of them.
Oh, thank God. Really? I don't see him on the attendee registry. He did not pay for medical school. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure he's the person that gave you the fucking disease in the first place and my course of treatment. So thank the doctors. No offense.
Modern medicine is a wonderful thing. I will say that for sure.
But I went through pretty crazy. I had an infection in pretty much my entire body.
I remember that.
And it was about 2.5 months of treatments and going through stuff and
Antibiotics constantly.
Antibiotics a lot. And then, it's been one thing after another, culminating in last week, my week started off with finding out that my mom was going in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of par for the course. My mom's 82, you know.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of diseases. She's got lupus and COPD and a bunch of other stuff. And she went in the hospital with the flu, and they had to intubate her. She couldn't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was kind of they put her in basically a medical coma, and filled her up with antibiotics and air. And so they're doing that. And then the next day, or that night, I sent the boys over to stay with a friend just because, you know, stress levels were kind of high and I felt like they needed to be away from all the craziness. And I get a phone call from my friend who was babysitting the boys, and they're like, Cade's peeing blood. And I'm like,
Nobody got time for that.
what? You know?
Yeah.
So we rush him to the hospital and get him in. And it turns out to be just a basic urinary tract infection.
Yeah.
Poor little bugger put his fuzzy pajamas on, commando. Got a little fuzzy up in there.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
It's going to happen.
Sure.
But and then the next morning, we wake up and Snow's face is swollen up, like just huge. So we had to take her to the hospital. She had an abscessed tooth.
Oh shit.
And all this was infected. So we handled that, and then the next day my mom died. So it's been a pretty crazy week.
Yeah.
You got shit on in
And
a very
it-
short period of time.
But then there's you.
Then there's me, and I this is not me trying to flex my muscles and saying I went through the worst of it. Because it's funny, in my house this year we had a torn ACL, we had a broken foot, and we had what I went through. And the kids are always fighting back and forth, and I just look at them and I say, 24 hours from death. I think I take the cake. So I want to back it up because the Buried Puck hasn't done a whole lot. There hasn't been a whole lot of talk. There hasn't been a whole lot of public stuff. Been a few posts here and there. But here's what happened. I'm going to try to keep it as brief as possible. As you guys know, episode 19, we were all talking about having the plague. We were all feeling like shit. I was feeling like shit. The one thing I wasn't telling people at that time was I was having a really weird pain in my ass, and it wasn't my kids. It was...
Smooth.
was a physical pain. I went and saw Ron White that Friday night, and I which was he's fucking hilarious. But so I'm squirming, like literally squirming in my seat. I couldn't sit still. Same time I'm running this, what I thought was a low grade fever. Come to find out, it wasn't low grade at all. But I'm like, I'm taking a Motrin. I'm fine. This went on for like a week and a half, and it culminated on Thanksgiving Day. I didn't go to my in-laws' house for Thanksgiving because I was just feeling like shit. And my wife looked at me and said, I don't care if you wake up tomorrow morning feeling 100%, you're going to the doctor. And I haven't been to a doctor in 15 years, literally. I just don't like them. Sorry, doctors. I just don't want to go and hear bad news all the time, which we'll get to that. So anyway...
A little bad news is better than the big bad news.
We got a lot of that in a very short amount of time. So anyway, and in the midst of that, and I'm just going to say right now, if you don't want to hear gruesome details about my experience, turn it off right now because it got really weird. Testicles, balls, penis, chode, whatever it's called.
No, not chode. Chode is a very specific thing.
Now
that's where.
And with that being said,
No, chode is a dick that's bigger around than it is long.
Oh, I don't have a chode. What do they call? No, what is the actual medical term for that?
Perineum.
Yep, starts with the P. I knew that.
I'm thinking about the
Taint.
skateboard trick.
Taint.
now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yes. So literally, my experience with your injury, not my personal experience, but or your illness was watching dudes rip their sack skating.
No, I'm thinking of the Letterkenny skit, the skateboard trick.
Yeah.
I don't want to see my accessory glands.
We'll get to that as well.
Exactly.
So, and one of the things when I woke up on Thanksgiving morning, everything down there in the man region was swollen, like really, really swollen, and it just hurt really bad.
And not in a good way.
Not in the good way. It wasn't like I'm like, hey, baby. It was like, oh, shit, where's everything at? Because it's all covered in fluid right now.
Ooh.
That's how bad
that's
it was.
Fun.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, I'm just going to pop some more Motrin and go back to bed on Thanksgiving. So anyway, Friday, Black Friday, I wake up in the morning. I'm like, still feeling like shit. Everything's still swollen. I'm like, all right, let's go to the clinic and get some antibiotics and get this over with. So we go to the clinic. granted, I haven't been to a doctor in a long time. So go to the clinic. I tell them what's going on. They're kind of looking at me. I'm like, I think I might have some prostatitis. I don't know, maybe the flu. I don't know. And they're like, well, let's go check you out. So, like, drop your drawers. I drop my drawers, and they're checking everything. They're like, are you diabetic? And I'm like, not that I know of. Why? They're like, you smell like ketones. I'm like, I have no fucking clue what a ketone is. What is that? They're like, well, it's blood sugar. We can actually smell sugar on you. I'm like, huh. Well, I don't know. What's that have to do with my dick being all messed up right now? And they were like, well, we don't know. So let's take your blood sugar.
It's never a sentence you want to ask anybody.
Right.
What does that have to do with my dick being messed up?
Yeah, my balls. Where are my balls? I can't find my balls, okay?
You're like, I don't care about that. I want to know what's going on with my balls.
Maybe I have diabetes. I don't know. But can you fix my balls? That's all I need to know right now. So they take my blood sugar. And granted, I think I had a bowl of soup the previous 2 days. So I hadn't really eaten much in 48 hours. And my blood sugar was 307. Yeah. I'm like, well, I'm not a diabetic. I don't know much about diabetes, but I know that's really high.
Yeah.
So like, okay, we want you to go to the ER. I'm like, okay, we'll go to the ER. They're like, we just don't know what to do. Go to the ER. I'm like, okay, you want an ambulance? No, I don't want an ambulance. Oh, really? Yeah, my wife's right here. She can drive me. Okay, we'll sign this form. So I come to find out, like, everything, they don't ever want you out of their care. Like, at all.
No, once
so I'm
you're
like, no,
in,
she's driving me because they don't want me to be a flight risk. I'm like, guys, I feel like shit. I'm going to the hospital. So, and here's the other thing. My fever when I went into the clinic was like 99, so not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I go, the clinic was at Clearwater and Steptoe, which most people listening aren't going to know what that means, but
I know where it's at.
you know where it's at. So we drove from there to Catholic ER, 15, 20-minute drive, okay? So I walk into the ER, and I'm like, hey, was at the clinic. They sent me over here. They're like, okay, let me check your vitals. She checks my vitals. She was like, you feeling okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm great. Why? She's like, your fever's like 103. I was like, wow, 20 minutes, it went up that much? Okay. She's like, do you want a wheelchair to take you back to the room? I'm like, no, I don't, I'm fine. She's like, no, sit in the wheelchair. We don't want you passing out. I'm like, I just walked like from the parking garage to here. I'm fine. She's like, get in the wheelchair. I'm like, okay, shit's starting to get real. So they wheel me back, put me in the gown and all this stuff. Next doctor that comes in is like, are you diabetic? I don't fucking know. I have no clue.
Yeah. Look at my balls, please.
Yeah, for real. They're like, well, can you pee for us? I'm like, well, I don't really have to pee right now. And they're like, okay, well, hang out. We're going to get you a CT scan. Really? Okay. So I go in, they do the CT scan. Not a big deal. Come back. So then I have to pee. This is where it gets kind of weird. So they give you, one of those little jugs or whatever for the bedside pee. So I pee. It took me like 2.5 minutes to pee what I thought was emptying my bladder.
Right.
400 milliliters, which is actually a lot of pee.
Officially, it takes all mammals the exact same amount of time to empty their bladder. Be it elephant, human. It's 21 seconds.
I wish I could pee like an elephant because that'd be like half a second, like just gone, done.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like the way the pressure release works, biologically it's supposed to be 21 seconds.
Interesting.
So 2 minutes is a long goddamn time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting there like on the edge of the bed doing this, and my wife's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm still peeing, still peeing, still peeing."
That was my weird mansplaining thing of the day.
The more you know, the better.
I don't even need to go to school today. I don't need to go to class.
I got you, homie.
So I was like, okay, I think I'm done. And man, the bottle is just like dark, just grody looking piss. And they come in like, all right, well, we want to do a ultrasound on your bladder to see if you emptied. And I was like, okay. So they do the ultrasound. They're like, you still have 400 in there. I was like, huh? They're like, yeah. Are you sure you peed everything? I'm like, that's all I felt like I had to pee. And they're like, you still have 400 milliliters in your bladder right now.
Holy God,
yeah.
dude.
And I'm like, okay, once again, I don't know a whole lot about what you're saying, but I feel like that's probably a bad thing because the amount I just peed is the amount that's still in me, and I think I'm supposed to empty it. But anyway, so then the urologist shows up, and this guy, God bless him, I don't remember his name, but he's like 80. He had to be 80 years old. He's like, 32 years of doing this. I've never seen this before. And I'm like, well, that just makes me feel really great, doc. So then he goes to do the catheter. Awake.
Oh.
With metal instruments.
Yeah. Oh.
Which I found out later from my urologist up at Harborview. He looked at me and he said, that guy's brutal. We never do that to anybody that's not sedated. I was like, well, thanks. You need to call him and let him know that. So anyway, he gets the catheter in. Oh, my God. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit. And I feel it going the whole way, and it was just bad. So anyway, I'm on a catheter, which actually was great. I was on a catheter for 8 days, which means I never had to get up to go to the bathroom, which was awesome. I could just lay in bed. I looked at my wife a few times, said, "I'm peeing right now." It was awesome. And then the
Look on your face.
and then the nurses would come in and just empty it for me. It was great. It was awesome.
Wait, okay. Can I tell you the most embarrassing story that's ever happened to me?
Sure.
Have I told you this?
I'm ready.
I was in a car accident in 1997.
Right.
Okay. I am 18 years old. Just been through a rather severe accident. I broke the left side of my body, collarbone, ribs, hip, just down the line. And I'm laying. I had also woken up after the accident and climbed up a hill because the car had gone off a cliff, and I climbed up it and then walked down the road to find people. Mm-hmm. I thought I was fine. So
I've heard this story.
Yes, you have. Yeah. I know you have.
Yeah.
The hottest nurse I've ever seen in my entire life walks in right after they've told me my little sister has passed away.
Yeah.
And she comes up and she's like, "Is there anything you need?" And I said, "Can you help me up?" Like, I'm on the bed. And I'm like, "Can you help me up? I need to go to the bathroom." Mm-hmm. And she goes, "Oh, you might still have a neck injury. Like, we need to make sure you're okay. We can't get you up." And I'm like, I climbed up a hill. I'm fucking fine. Just let's go. Mm-hmm. And she goes, no, just hang on. And she comes back with the piss jug, like the little thing. And she hands it to me, and I put it in my left hand to fucking adjust the zipper and shit. And she's like, "Do you need a hand?" And I immediately go, "No!" Because things are going to happen.
Yeah. No, thank you. In fact, if you could leave the room right now, that would be great.
Yeah, I don't.
Your eyes are already like, no!
Please, your eyes. Yes, please, no. Like, hey, I appreciate you're trying to do your job, and I'm not trying to be a chauvinistic pig, but you're gorgeous.
Yeah.
You come anywhere near this, my aim's going to get bad. So
Listen on the ceiling.
Needless. Okay, so you're ahead of where it's going.
Oh my God!
I finagle Pedro out of the fucking pants. Push with my left hand. I get the fucking jug over my dick. And now, did I tell you that the reason we were coming down the hill in the first place was I had to pee?
No.
Okay, so
Fuck urinating.
I had been holding it for around 4 hours.
Wow.
And the PSI that hit the back of this jug was enough to blast through fucking granite. I knocked the jug out of my hand and proceed to piss all over this beautiful nurse.
Well, because at that point, you're not stopping.
No, it hit her in the face. It goes in her mouth. It's in her eyes.
God.
Like, just spraying her. It's running down the front of her. I am fucking mortified.
And I bet you she would have said something like, "That's not the first time."
She goes, "I offered to help." And I was like, "I feel like this could have been avoided. I apologize."
Yeah.
Back to your balls.
Aaron, back to you.
That's pretty bad. I don't think I peed on anybody in there.
Dude, that's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me.
That's crazy. Okay, so... catheter. Yeah, well, I'm just going to skip that part because it still, makes me twinge. But got the catheter. Well, so fever's crazy. At this point, I've got 2 IVs in me, and they've got me on, 3 or 4 different antibiotics at this point because nobody knows what's going on. So then the head ER nurse comes in and goes, "Okay, sweetie, here's the question, Portland or Seattle?" And I said, "Are we talking MLS here? Or are we what are we talking about here?"
You're like, Sounders.
Wait, Timbers? Sounders, whatever. Wait. Oh, Thunderbirds or Winterhawks? What are we talking here?
Thunderbirds. Okay.
He goes, you're going to need to go to one of those 2 places. I'm like, "Okay, well, let me get stuff packed." He's like, No, you don't understand. You're going to go, now.
Now, yeah.
What does that mean? Well, we're going to put you on a plane. Like a life flight? He's like, "Yeah." Like, so how bad is this? "Well, we don't know, but we can't treat you. We need to send you to Harborview." Okay. Look at my wife. I'm like, "Is this really fucking happening?" And I said, "Well, I guess we'll go to Seattle. We got family up there, so let's go to Seattle." So within 30 minutes, the wife goes home, packs up a bag for her because she was able to hop on the flight with me, which was really cool. But we're on a plane. We're headed to Seattle. Get up there 5, 6 o'clock Friday night. They wheel me into the ER there at Harborview, which, holy shit, you were there. That's a big-ass hospital, man.
Yeah, it's big.
It's crazy big, but it's a great place. But anyway, so I'm in the ER. Okay, this is funny. They bring me into the ER, and they go in the little tented area. There's like 16 fucking doctors and shit standing in there.
And you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a second. And I look at Anya, she goes, it's a teaching hospital. I'm like, are they going to write a book about me or something here?
You're like, what are they trying to do? I want them to know shit. I don't want them to be learning.
I'm getting like irritated at this point. I'm like, okay, but you talk about the most embarrassing situation. So everybody, you know, really doesn't want to be naked in public.
No, yeah.
That was the moment that I learned being naked in public really ain't that big of a deal. Because they were like, well, can we see? I'm like, fuck it. Sure.
Yep.
Lift the skirt up. They're all checking it out. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all the crazy details, but that night I went into quote-unquote emergency surgery. They went in there. They cut me
stem to sternum,
literally. I didn't really. I mean, it was like 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night when I went into surgery. I woke up. It was 2 a.m. I was in ICU. I knew they had done something because this down there didn't feel right because they had packed me with 4 rolls of gauze.
Oh my God!
4 rolls where they cut me. They took out a fist-sized vial of pus out of me. Fist-size.
Fist-sized vial of pus is my favorite hardcore album.
That's a new band name. And I was on painkillers and all that shit. I didn't really know what was going on. My wife was there. They said the surgery went really good, but they weren't sure if there was going to need to be another surgery, so I still couldn't eat at that point. At this point, we're going on like 70 hours without food, so I'm really, really irritable. Can I drink? We don't know if you're going to have another surgery, so no. Okay. So they start sneaking me ice in and all this shit. So this is like 2 a.m, kind of sleep through the night. Saturday, they come in and they unpack those 4 rolls of gauze. Mm-hmm. I literally laid on my back, looking down at my legs, watching the doctor just go, what?
Like a magic trick.
He's just like, look it, I made this gauze appear right out of your...
Like your taint was fucking Neil Patrick Harris's sleeve.
Yeah. Okay, so, but here's the thing. I thought maybe taking it out was bad because they put some sort of liquid on it that actually pulls if there's ever like other pieces of infection or scar tissue, it pulls it out with it. So I was like, oh, that hurt. Then I found out what it's like to get repacked with that shit while you're awake. That was not good. And we'll get I'll get to what was going on at that point. So anyway,
this is the edited for family listeners.
Edited for family, fucking A, dude. So this is Saturday mid-morning. They still don't know what's going on. I'm still in ICU. Finally, Saturday night about 10:30, the ICU nurse comes in. She's like, okay, you're not going to have surgery tonight. You can eat. But I still had people asking me, are you diabetic? And I'm like, I don't know.
They hadn't run a blood test on that yet?
They have, but they hadn't got results.
Oh, okay.
Which, come to find out, was really weird because an A1C test is like a really easy test. It's like a finger prick.
Yeah.
But anyway, the endocrinologist hadn't taken a look yet, I guess.
Okay.
So anyway,
it's a big hospital.
All afternoon, all I'm wanting is scrambled eggs and toast. That's all I wanted. So 10:30 at night, I'm like, oh, thank God. Can I get some scrambled eggs and toast? She's like, the kitchen's actually closed. I'm like, okay, so do I actually get food or what? She's like, well, we've got a snack thing. Do you want mac and cheese? We got graham crackers. You can dip them in milk. Like 3 of the worst things for a diabetic to have. Literally. I'm like, yes, please to all of those. Because they still didn't know.
Yeah.
So I finally get something to eat, something to drink. Sunday morning, I had the worst physician's assistant ever. She came in to check it out. At this point, I only had 2 rolls of gauze in me. But she comes in to check it out. The ICU nurse goes, well, you're going to be the one to change it. And she looks at the nurse and goes, well, nobody told me that. She's like, well, you're going to do it. So she's pissed off, ripping 2 rolls of gauze out of me. Pissed off. Then, and by the way, I was getting my fentanyl lollipops at that point, which those are fun. I had been on a drip of fentanyl. Then they give me fentanyl lollipops. So anyway, she rips it out, and then she proceeds to lay over top of me, almost in a 69 position, and take pictures of my taint. After she had just ripped this thing out.
Hey, you've got to be a fucking premium member for this.
You didn't even buy me dinner.
There's a goddamn monthly subscription to the Patreon.
Jeez Louise.
You get one.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
You get one Snapchat of my taint. and then
pictures.
private chats.
Premium Snapchat for life.
So she comes in, she unpacks me, takes her pictures, and leaves. And I said, if anybody else is like that, I'm going to kill him. Oh, and poor Anya at this point. I'm in ICU, so she has to wear a full gown, rubber gloves the whole time. She had to sleep in that shit.
Ugh.
So anyway, they finally repack me. I'm out for the afternoon, and they were like, okay, we're going to move you. You're out of ICU now. Okay, so things are getting a little better. That was Sunday. Monday, my boy Kyle was up there for a show. He came by and visited me. I don't remember much of the conversation.
Was that a Trivium show?
No, it was Fit for an Autopsy.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
You
Fit
were
for an
at-
Autopsy Unearthed.
Oh, did they?
Is it Showbox or El Corazon?
El Corazon.
Yeah.
Did they play Fistful of Pus?
Yes. It was the grand cover. That was the last song of the set.
Monday was the day that I also found out I was diabetic. They did the A1C. I was at 9.2, so they're like, okay, you're diabetic. I was like, okay, we'll deal with that later. And then also, about the time you showed up, that my 4 bags of antibiotics went down to 1. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
They found out it was strep B. That's all the infection was strep B.
So that was one of the ones I had in my leg.
Yeah, well, we all have it on us,
Yeah.
all living on our skin. But because I was diabetic, it was feeding off the sugars, and it got so bad.
Yep.
Later on, the doctor came in and looked at me. He said, if you were a 60-year-old male, you'd be dead right now. If you were a 60-year-old man, you'd be dead right now. You wouldn't have survived that because it feeds and then it turns into a flesh-eating bacteria.
Holy shit.
It literally eats you from the inside out. So that was fun.
Comforting.
We found out all that. Then, you're going to have a second surgery on Tuesday. We're going to put a camera up in your wing wang and see what's going on up there. We're going to go in and we're going to try. We're just going to make sure we got all the infection out, all that stuff. Yes, wing wang is an official term.
Man, I want to start an old man hardcore band so bad. With Fistful of Pus and Camera Up My Dick.
Have you guys seen the what's the Foo Fighters song? Run? Is it just called? It was off their newest album. And have you seen the video for it? They're all old guys playing in the retirement home. That's what it will be.
Yep.
So anyway, they find that out. They go and they do the surgery, second surgery in 3 days. They go and they say, okay, your infection's clear, but we don't want to sew you up yet. We want to leave it open to let it air out, let it heal, all that shit. I was like, okay. So your wife might have to keep packing it after you go home. So at that point, Anya starts learning how to unpack me and repack me.
What a woman. What a woman.
She did.
Because
dude.
I tell you right now, my first wife, she'd say, go fuck yourself, homie.
I'd just be like, let the fucker die.
So this is kind of a weird one, and well, I was born without the tip of my ass crack and my tailbone, like that piece connecting. It was open. There's a little thing, and I guess it's kind of a common thing. It happens to a few people, but it grows shut. Like it heals, like you finish forming or whatever.
Takes time, but it happens.
But you have this little pocket that's been in there that's just open, right? And somehow that bastard got infected. And I woke up one morning and I couldn't sit down because the top of my butt had a boil in the middle of my butt crack, like at the very top. And it was super, and I had to go get it lanced.
Oh, wow.
And
fun.
what came out of it was essentially the ooze that transformed the fucking Ninja Turtles.
Did a turtle actually come out of your ass?
I
too?
was almost-
It's oozing out, and then the turtle just plops out.
I thought of Ivan Ooze from the old Power Rangers movie. They call me Ivan.
Yeah, so she had to pack this much gauze
Oh, wow.
in the top of my crack, not even the most horrid of
Right,
regions.
right.
The part that sticks out when your pants sit down, whatever. Like boom.
What's going on right now?
Yeah,
At the
exactly.
fitness scene.
We're
Exactly.
sitting on that part right now.
And
Yeah.
she was like, I'm not fucking doing this.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So God bless Anya Piper.
Yeah,
I
Anya-
love you,
well,
sister. Good job.
Well, and here's the other thing, too, that I found out later on was I had been asking a lot of questions. I think even when you showed up Monday, Kyle, I was like, I'm asking the doctors, what's the plan? What's going to happen? Where am I going? How long am I going to be here? Blah,
Yeah,
blah,
because
blah.
you didn't know.
I had no idea.
When I was there.
We weren't getting any answers.
Yeah.
So I wake up from surgery on Tuesday. I went in at like 7 a.m. on Tuesday, come out of it like an hour and a half, 2 hours later. It wasn't very long. But Anya goes, are you awake? I'm like, yeah, I'm awake. I got some good news. I'm like, okay. Come to find out, while I was in surgery, she's sitting down with the head of the urology department going, what the fuck is the plan here? because my husband's going to lose his mind if you do not give him a goal to look forward to.
Yeah.
You need to figure something out. Because at that point, they found out it was strep B. It was under control, so I wasn't a priority anymore, which, actually made me feel better. Like, okay, it's not...
The less you see the doctors, normally the better it is.
Yeah.
It's not life-threatening at this point, which they told me if you would have showed up 24 hours earlier or 24 hours later, this might not have ended the way you wanted it to. So that kind of hit me hard. But so anyway, the plan was they're going to sew you up, but we have to wait until at least Friday, so 3 more days. But anyway, once again, God bless her, because she sat down with Dr. Hagedorn. She's a great doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
She's great. She was awesome. I saw her a couple weeks ago. She was great. But she told her straight up, you've got to come up with a plan or my husband's going to lose his mind.
Yeah.
I know how he is. Give him an end game. So finally the end game was set. So really the next few days we're just meeting with dietitians, trying to figure out, okay, this is how you're going to have to handle your diabetes. This is what it means. This is what you got to do. They were giving me insulin in there just because.
Right, they have to.
Right, and they want to keep it controlled because I did have another surgery coming up. They don't want to see a spike there. So I was giving myself insulin shot. You know what? Do you do insulin shots or just metformin right now?
So I've only done insulin in the hospital.
Okay.
I'm not insulin dependent.
Cool. That's good.
But it's an interesting thing.
Well, the thing about it though, with this little pooch on my belly, I never felt it.
Plop.
The needles are about that long, and they're like a 40 gauge, which is tiny.
Yeah, they're itty bitty.
Pop them in, do all that crap. So, I mean, I'm feeling good. My blood sugars in the hospital are running in like anywhere from 140 to 180 just because we're trying to get it all figured out. The food was shit. Tasted like crap. Taste buds were all messed up because of all the medication. So finally, Thursday night, the team comes in like, all right, we're going to try to get you in for surgery tomorrow. I'm like, okay. Probably around 10:30 or 11. So 10:30, they wheel me down. I'm only under for an hour and a half. They sewed me up. Come to find out, OxyContin or whatever that they gave me doesn't do anything when it comes to pain down in the taint region. It does nothing. They would give me 15 milligrams of Oxy before they would change it, and I'd still feel everything.
Yeah.
So they sewed me up, came back to the room. I'm like, hey, cool. I don't have to get packed and unpacked and all that shit anymore. The whole time I have a catheter in as well, which was great. I think I said that earlier. But they're like, we're going to take your catheter out tomorrow morning if everything's cool. I'm like, well, what does that process look like? They're like, the nurse, Maddie. God, I love Maddie so much. Both me and my wife fell in love with Maddie. She was great. She was young. She was, like, caring. You know, she actually took her time. But she said, well, what's going to happen is there's a little balloon in there to keep it from coming out. Yeah, so we're going to release
the pressure.
We're going to put some liquid into you to kind of wake your bladder up. Then we'll take the pressure off the balloon. And she's like, and then honestly, it's just a matter of pulling it out. I was like, does it hurt? She's like, no, unless there's a hook on the end of it. And I'm like,
come again?
Yeah, I'm like, whoa. And my mind starts going back to that dude that gave me it with the metal pieces. I'm like,
oh, shit.
So, Maddie, do you know if there's a hookup in there? She's like, I don't know. So, like, a couple hours later, one of my urologists comes in. He walks in the room, and I go, do I have a hook inside me right now? Just looked at him. Didn't even say hi. I was like, do I have a hook inside me right now? He looked at me with this weird face like, what are you talking about?
Look at my balls.
So, yeah, look at my balls. Look at my balls. You see him? Lick him. Lick him. So he gives me this weird look like, what? So I looked at him, and I told him the story of what Maddie told me. And did you lose it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
I was trying to not bring attention to it.
Sorry. I can't keep my eyes off it.
Go ahead.
So he looked, and I explained it to him, and he's like, well, why would that even happen? I told him the story of the old urologist in Richland. He's like, he did that to you? And I said, yeah. Is that not normal? He goes, oh, well, we're known as the top trauma urology unit in the Northwest, and we would never do that to anybody unless
if you're going to get your dick hurt.
Sedated. If you're going to get your dick hurt, if you can't find your balls,
that never happens. And I see some 80-year-old dude walk in. I'm like, no, get out.
Oh, I will never, ever,
life fight my balls to Seattle right now.
See, backing up,
just kill me.
I tried to. I tried to get out of going to Seattle. Come to find out, this urologist guy, the old guy, was only there for like 10 days out of the month, and that Friday was his last day. So he was flying home. I'm like, dude, can't you just stay for like another day or two so you can do this and I don't have to go to Seattle? And he told me straight up, he's like, I don't think I can do it. I'm so glad he didn't do it. I'm so glad I got to go to Seattle. So anyway, we come to find out there's no hook, which is good. So the next morning, Oh, and then in my last surgery, when they sewed me up, they gave me a pigtail. Yeah. I didn't quite understand what the pigtail was. Once again, these are regions that I can't really get down to look at. So my wife's like, you have a pigtail. I said, what the hell are you talking about? She said, well, they sewed you up, and then at the very end, they wanted to leave just this little opening so it would drain if it needed to, and they put like a rubber hose up inside of you so it looks like a little pigtail. I was like, okay.
Thanks.
Interesting. She's like, it's down there. You want to feel it? So I'm like flicking around this little rubber pigtail just hanging out. I was like, okay,
Flicking
that's
your
really
bean.
weird.
You've become Gale from fucking.
For real. I even walk like that now.
Hey, Wayne.
So anyway, about 6 a.m. Saturday morning, the doctor shows up. He cuts my pigtail off, which I didn't feel, which was great. And he's like, everything looks good, dude. He's like, we're going to give the order to get your catheter out, and you're going to be out of here soon. I was like, sweet. So she takes the catheter. Oh, no, she goes and she starts filling me up with this fluid, the nurse. And she's like, do you feel anything? And I'm like, I don't feel a goddamn thing. She's like, oh, you only got about 100 in you. Let's keep going. Okay. You feeling anything? Not really. Should I? Well, we'll just keep going. So finally, I didn't feel a goddamn thing. But I was like, oh, yeah, I feel it. I got to pee. I'm going to have to pee soon just to get her to stop. She's like, all right, you got 150 milliliters in there. You got 6 hours. Good luck. I said, 6 hours for what? She's like, well, if you don't pee within the next 6 hours, at least 150 milliliters, we're going to have to straight catheter you. And I said, I don't know what that is, but all I know is I don't want it.
The word catheter's in it.
Yeah, the word catheter's in it.
No more dick straws.
And when she said
I
straight
don't
catheter.
care if it's like the happiest catheter in the
man.
world. I don't want it.
Well, when she said straight catheter, she had that look on her face of like, you don't want that. You don't want that. So anyway, about 30 minutes later, I went in, and they're like, when you go pee, use the jug so you can show the nurse. I was like, okay. So I went in, I peed like 200 altogether, and I came out of that. And in Harborview, you have shared rooms, and I threw that bathroom door open, and I looked at the guy next to me. His name was Steve, and I said, Steve, 200. And Steve was under a lot of medications because he had been burned from chest to feet with hot grease that he dumped on himself.
Shit.
He had been in there since November the 3rd.
Holy
fuck.
God, dude.
The day
so that
that
was
I
the guy
said
that was in
200.
there.
Yeah. Oh,
you say-
no, that was a different guy.
Yeah, because you said that guy lost a limb or something.
He had a prosthetic. He was in some sort of motorcycle accident.
Oh, poor guy.
So anyway, but November 30 goes in. This day that I'm saying, look, Steve, 200, that was December 1st.
Jesus Christ.
So he was supposed to go home that day, didn't go home till the next day. So anyway, I feel like I'm rambling now. Anyway, I came out and said 200, showed it to the nurse. He said, okay, you did 200. Let's see how much is still in there. And I'm starting to think back to when I thought it was empty, but I still had 400 in there. And I'm like, oh, my God. Okay, let's go for it. So they do the little ultrasound. There was like 20 in there.
Oh, nice.
They're
nice,
like-
nice.
And I was like, is that bad? They're like, no, that's fine. We don't care over 20. It's like, we're going to discharge you. They give me all this medication. I mean, I was on amoxicillin for 5 weeks, twice a day.
Yeah.
They gave me the metformin. They gave me the blood sugar monitor. But anyway, dude, when they say they're discharging you at Harborview, don't fuck around. Because, like, within 20 minutes, they were in there. Like, okay, you ready to go? What? Dude, I just got dressed. I need a shower and stuff.
Polar opposite of Catholic.
Oh, I know. I know.
They're like, hey, you're going to go home today. And then 6 hours later,
hours
they're
later.
like, you're still here?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Nope.
I could
I
have
am.
left.
Yeah.
Could have left.
I thought I had to be here. Like, so
Well, come to find out, the whole process, you can sign a paper at any point and just leave.
I got to jump into this since I brought up Catholic. So, like I said at the beginning of the cast, my mom passed away this week. And it was kind of a long few days. She was intubated and she couldn't breathe, on her own. They started backing the thing off. She was being able to breathe a little bit more, so they pulled it out. She was up. She was talking to people. She wasn't out of bed, but she was awake and cognizant and answering questions. And then slowly over about 2 hours period, she started to lose wind again.
Was her like lungs filling up and stuff?
Well,
or-
so I looked at the X-rays. Apparently, my mom's left lung has been dead for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Like, she's been running on one, and this one was at least half dead. And then the rest of it was filled with flu and pneumonia. So anyway, she started to fade, and they're like, okay, we're going to have to re-intubate you. And she goes, no, we're not doing that again.
So she just knew, like, we're done.
Well, she wasn't going to go through. That's not how she wanted to go out.
Right.
If she was going to go out, she wanted to go out my mom's a fighter. She's the most stubborn fucking person I ever met in my life. And every time she woke up, when she had that tube in, she fought it. She tried to pull it out. So they had to restrain her. I literally spent 3 days in the hospital holding her hands down.
Wow.
And just being like, hey, Mom, be calm. Like, it's cool. We're here. Everybody's with you. Like, just let it work, because they were putting antibiotics and stuff in.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know if people who listen to the podcast know that I've got a bit of a gallows sense of humor.
Yeah.
I tend to deal with stress by making jokes.
Yeah.
Well, I tend to deal with everything by making jokes. So that's kind of a family trait. And
she's making jokes.
Well, we're making jokes. I made her laugh like 3 times, which made me feel good.
That's awesome.
And but we're cracking jokes, and the nurse pulls me aside one day, and she goes, your family is different. And
what do you mean, like
bus different? You can be blunt. Go ahead and say what you want to say. And she goes, well, I just don't want to offend you, but your family's fucking weird. And I said, well, yes, but what do you mean? And she goes, well, we're the ICU.
Yeah.
Like, we're used to solemn, like, quiet grieving, and you guys are loud, boisterous people, and you're fucking laughing.
Yeah.
They're like, it's kind of unsettling. Like, we don't know how to deal with it. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. My daughter got in trouble twice, like, nurse coming in and being like, hey, you need to shut the fuck up.
Wow.
But because we're cracking jokes. So anyway, comes time that basically I get a call about 4 a.m. and said, hey, here we go.
Yeah.
Go time. So Snow and I go to the hospital, and we go in, and it's me and my sisters and my mom's sister, my niece, my nephew, my daughter, one of my best friends, and we all stood around her. We held her hands. Everybody was touching her leg or something. So she had comfort, and I put on Spotify on my phone at a real loud volume and played Doris Day, which is her favorite singer.
That's awesome.
I said, just listen to Doris Day and check out. Mom's like, just sitting there. She looks at me, and I'm like, all right. So then the nurse comes in and shoots her up with morphine. Right? And I watched the syringe go down, and I watched her eyes dilate. And I was like, oh, she's not feeling a goddamn thing now. And my sister, who is still a Jehovah's Witness, that's the other part of the stressful part of this, is I'm dealing with my Jehovah's Witness family.
Yeah.
But my sister, who's still a Jehovah's Witness, I go, she's not feeling anything now. And my sister goes, how do you know? And I said, experience.
I've had morphine like that before. Yeah.
So we're sitting there.
You should try it sometime.
And it's a really, I mean, to morbidly, it was kind of a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she went in a very peaceful, beautiful, surrounded by love.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh, my God.
Is this going to be a good or bad Cadlick story?
You're going to love this. It's got nothing to do with Cadlick.
Okay.
It's just where we were at.
Okay.
So my mom has passed away. It's been about half an hour. She's still in the room. We're all in the room. I've never experienced death like this before. I have gone to 81 funerals in the past 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I average 2 a year.
I've been to like 4.
Right. I know a lot of dead people. So, and I've had a lot of experience. This was the first time I ever watched somebody pass that wasn't violent. Like, it wasn't a horrible thing. Yeah.
Something, yeah.
And so even my dad having his heart attack, it was a violent. He was fighting. It was a weird thing. But anyway, so mom's passed. She's laying there, and we all have to wear the gowns and the masks and all that. And the nurse comes in and looks at my oldest sister, and she goes, 8:03 a.m. She had asked for the time of death. My other sister comes walking in, the witness one. She comes walking in, and she goes, what's 8:03? And I said, well, it's when Mom passed. And she goes, well, why didn't anybody tell me? And I put my hands, I'm standing on the opposite side of the bed, and I'm like, Exhibit A! The dead woman in the room.
What?
And she pulls her mask down and goes, see, I can do it too.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So, in a moment of, God bless you, I put my hand up, and she high-fived me, and I realized we're high-fiving over my mom's body.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that could probably been a little more appropriate.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But, I mean, as far as it went, like, it was cute, her trying to play with everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pat her on the head.
Yep. I was like, that was cute.
Good job.
That was cute.
Proud.
It's no.
So, needless to say, our focus has not been on hockey.
It's not been on hockey. You want to know, honestly, my focus after I got, like, literally the day I got out of the hospital, it turned to a lot of music, because that's where I find a lot of my
Solace
solace and all that. So as we're headed to the, oh, by the way, we were going to rent a car to drive home, and like everybody's like,
That's what you were telling me, yeah.
it's going to cost you like $1,000 one way. We're going to have to do this and that. I'm like, fuck that. How much is a flight on Alaska? It was like $250 for both me and Anya to fly home. It's like, okay, let's get an Uber. Let's get the hell out of here. Oh, and by the way, when they let you go from the hospital, you have a brand new disease and all this stuff. Good luck. The first time you have to make decisions on your own, you're like, oh, I feel like I was just birthed and I don't know what to do now. So like we're down.
What is that? That's the sky, honey.
Before we left, I'm like, well, I'm supposed to eat, right? It's lunchtime. And they told me I got to eat these meals and this stuff. And my wife's like, yeah. So we go down to the hospital basement. I'm like, they've got to have some decent, healthy food in here.
No.
But I did find a nice, like, Southwest quinoa.
Oh, nice.
Quinoa.
Hey, can
Nice
I ask you a
quinoa
question?
salad.
Can I ask you a truly inappropriate question?
What?
How was throwing a deuce the first time with the stitches and shit in there?
So here was the weird. No,
I gotta know. Yeah.
Here was
just
the
in
weird
case.
thing about that. Before the stitches were in, so I had the gauze inside of me, and then they would put like this cover on the outside of it, and I wore like these mesh underwear.
Yeah,
to
let it
hold
go. Yeah.
So the first time I got up to take a shit was 2 or 3 days into this whole ordeal, and I sat down, and it was like, okay, they told me not to push. I can't push, so I do my thing. I get up, and I looked when I couldn't wipe.
Right.
The wife had to come wipe me because I had. You can still see the marks. IVs here.
Yeah.
An IV here. So I couldn't get back in the toilet and wipe myself. So anyway, I get up and I look, and there's like the covering was in the toilet. I'm like, I think my packing came out. What's going to happen? And there's like drops of blood in there. And I'm like, what's going on? Anya comes in. She's like, bent over.
Horrifying. That was the answer.
It was very horrifying.
You could have just...
That's true, but I wanted to give you a visual of it. I wanted to give you a
That's
visual.
why I asked. I knew he'd do it like this.
Well, and so like that happened for a couple of days, and then it was just like normal. I will tell you though, eating healthy now, like a lot of greens and stuff, my shits are glorious.
Oh, yeah.
They're glorious.
It's a good time. There's like 20 of them a day, too.
Oh yeah, dude.
And both of you guys look pretty good these days too. Like
I'm feeling
you
good.
guys have lost weight.
Yeah.
I can definitely see it. So
About 40 pounds for me altogether.
I'm at 38
Nice.
pounds. I had gotten back up to my heaviest I'd ever been. I was 338.
Oh wow,
And I'm down to 300. So
good
Nice.
for
Good
you,
work,
man.
guys.
It's all about. I mean, when one of the docs came in and said, you know, I was about 250 at that point, which was really low for me. I had been running 275, 280. And he was like, you're not, the coolest thing any doctor said to me that week was, well, you're not grossly overweight. I was like,
gee, thanks.
oh, well, thank you, doc. You're pretty small yourself. But he was like, no, honestly, he's like, if you follow this, you get this under control, you'll add 15 years to the end of your life.
Yeah.
I was like, sweet, let's do it. But feeling good, all my clothes, I had to buy all new clothes, but eating really well and feeling good about it,
Did you buy yourself some Newberry Puck t-shirts?
I exchanged my used ones into the inventory and pulled ones out. Yeah, a lot of stuff I had to get rid of, but I mean, it just feels good, man. It's like looking around, and you really, when they tell you you've got type 2, you look around and you're like, we as Americans suck.
Oh yeah, it's
with
gross,
our
dude.
Diets and the way we live.
It's gross.
It's so
Dude,
bad.
even I lived in Korea and Europe, 4 years total, and like,
yeah.
I come back here and I'm like, man, the food just is not as good.
It's gross.
Like
It's gross.
in
Yeah.
Europe. Oh my
And-
god, I need a tomato like a fucking apple.
Yeah. Oh,
But
that's
it's
another
so
thing I learned,
good.
that tomatoes and apples as a diabetic are super important every day.
Yeah.
And I hate tomatoes.
I hate tomatoes too.
I love
But
I have to force myself to hate
but
them.
a little table salt, eating it like an apple
Oh, yeah.
isn't terrible.
Oh yeah.
it. Oh, no,
Oh, yeah.
I'll get like sea salt and I'll
Yeah.
like kind of dip it in like a plate of sea salt.
Yeah,
and eat it
there
like
you
that.
go.
It's so good.
As like it was like a White House banquet most of the time.
Yeah.
Exquisite.
3-hour cold hamburgers and
I feel so
Jesus.
much. A lot of water. I don't do soda anymore. I did come to find out I like Coke Zero though. That's actually pretty good. But obviously sugar free. I can still do coffees. It looks like an Americano, but no lattes. Too much sugar.
yeah, too much sugar.
But it's just watching the carbs, man, and I feel so much better. Every day I was drained. I would have to have a nap at like 2 or 3 o'clock for like an hour or two. Man, I haven't taken naps in a while. I did when I got out of the hospital just because of the healing.
Well, yeah,
I got out of the hospital and I said to myself, give me 72 hours of rest and I'll be good to go.
You're a fucking madman.
Yeah, and I learned that because on the 4th day I tried to do some work.
Shut up, dude.
It was bad. So anyway, I rested for a while, but man, I feel so much better. And all you people out there, and that was really condescending, all you people, everyone out there that's listening to this, if I can tell you one thing, take care of yourselves, get your health straight, because if you don't have it, you got nothing, man. It doesn't matter. That's all I'm going to say.
So with the scares and just adversity. There's the fucking word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'd like my brain to work again. That's what I'm shooting for. I haven't been, dude. I say the wrong words all the time.
Right, yeah.
So my wife is fond of saying the phrase, "That's better than sex on toast," because toast is good and sex is good. So the two of them together have got to be the best thing, right? Sex on toast. So my brain went to say that the other day. But right before I said it, the Blues Brothers started playing in my head, and I hear Elwood say, "Dry white toast." And so what do I say? That's better than dry white sex.
Well, I can think of a lot of things that are better than dry white sex.
You know what's funny is that's exactly what my son said. Drew goes, "Like everything."
Oh my God.
So, but we've faced a lot of adversity. But we're coming in. This is the first show of the new year, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is 2019. We got a lot of hockey going. We're
NHL to Seattle.
We're looking forward to the. Is there any lead on the name yet? Do we have anything that's like kind of out front?
No, a lot of the fans want Metropolitans. I am not for Metros.
No,
that's history. Let that go. What I heard was they're supposed to announce no later than June, though, what the name of the team is.
Yeah,
that's
what I heard.
So I know the logo's cool. I don't want steelheads. I don't like it.
No. I'm hoping this guy, Sparky.
Yeah, all his are great.
Yeah, and I'm hoping he gets, because he's just doing it on his own right now, but I really hope they bring him in as part of the process with this, because he's got some really good concepts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, well, not kind of cool, but March, I have to go up for one more follow-up with the urology team up there at the end of March, and the hotel that I'm going to stay at, the wife and I are going to do a couple nights up there. The hotel is literally right across the street from the Key.
Ooh, nice.
The Mediterranean Inn is where I'll be staying if you want to come and kill me. But I want to go. I'm really interested to see what the process of that's going, because they keep saying this is not a remodel.
Yeah,
this is a whole new building. Other than the roof, we're going in and taking everything out and putting all new stuff back in. It's not a remodel. Yep. So I'm going to walk over and take a look at that.
Now, not that this really makes a difference on whether I get enough sleep at night, but like, what's happening with the WNBA team that's in there? The Storm? Like, are they still around?
Nobody cares.
I didn't think so. Okay.
They're actually playing outdoor basketball now. I don't know.
Anyway,
they became a beach league volleyball team
because they still do like concerts and stuff in the Key too, right?
Yeah.
Well, now they don't.
Well, not now, but
that's a good question.
I don't know.
Where's the venue now?
The WNBA season happens in the summer,
right?
Yeah, so, it's not going to be ready to get people back in there.
Concerts and basketball and stuff like that's just something that I was vaguely curious about.
Tacoma Dome, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is a shithole. I hate the Tacoma Dome, but
so everything that surrounds there's like
that's what the thing on my ass looked like.
I feel like. I mean, that's fitting because, like, every time I'm in, like, driving through Tacoma, like, it's that area, that whole, like, once you can see the Tacoma Dome, it's just a shit show.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the traffic is. Like, I don't know why people complain about Seattle traffic. I don't think
Tacoma sucks.
I don't think Seattle traffic's that bad. Tacoma is by far the worst bullshit fucking traffic I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Everybody's always complaining about Seattle traffic, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Go to Korea and find out what real traffic is.
Fucking A crowbar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I'm not concerned about the traffic in Seattle. Like everyone's all mad about it being at the the key or whatever. And
Yeah, it'll be fine.
they'll
figure it out.
Shut up.
Well,
Figure it out.
we're coming up on the end here.
Oh!
Wait.
Well,
we're not.
let's no. We're coming up on the end, but let's just take a minute to realize the blessings in our lives as well. Okay, we've talked about bad shit that happened over the year.
Yeah.
But goddamn, Letterkenny gets all its seasons on Hulu.
And I got through them like in 2 nights. I was done with season 5.
I'm
and
still on, I think, 4.
6. You'll get there.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Good job, Dad Noises.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I just
Fuck you, Shorzy.
dude,
3 things happen. You hit you hit the floor, and I fuck your mom.
shut up, give your balls a tug. Tit fucker. Shorzy's my hero.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until this recent season that
It
it's
was
actually
Wayne?
it's actually Jared Keeso that's
Yeah.
voicing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think it's him like the actor.
The ass.
Yeah, I don't.
Because it's always an ass or legs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually him. I
Or
think
him
it's someone
doing
else. But
pull
it's
ups
the voice.
there
Yeah.
in the gym.
Yeah.
The Christmas one was great. Yeah, that was definitely cool.
Let's end on a positive note. At
Yeah.
least we got more Letterkenny.
Found
Yeah.
some great music while I was out, dude. A lot of bands I'm stoked on right now.
Oh, I got a couple to share with you, BT Dubs.
Okay, cool.
So
Went to part of it real quick as we were leaving. As we were in the Seattle airport, I said, "Okay, babe, I haven't been in this airport
to
for
the
several
Sub Pop
years.
shop. I wouldn't hear this.
I haven't been to this airport in several years, and I used to work for Amazon, so I was constantly flying back and forth.
Yeah.
So about the time I quit Amazon, Sub Pop decided to open up their
store.
store there in the airport. I always wanted to go, but never had a reason to be at Seattle Airport. So we're in there, and I looked at her, and I said, "So Sub Pop has a store, and I'm going to go." And I almost died, so you're not going to argue with me on this one.
I'm gonna buy whatever the fuck I
I'm going to
want.
buy whatever the fuck I want. And she looked at me, and she just kind of smiled. She's like, "Go have fun." And I wouldn't spend I could have spent a lot more. Spent about
Yeah,
$200,
yeah.
but picked up Nirvana, the set of 4. It's 3 CDs
And a
of all
DVD.
the demos
Yeah.
of unreleased stuff.
Yeah.
And then the DVD in there. I picked up.
Dude, their electric cover of Where Did You Sleep Last Night
Yeah.
that's on that set is
Yeah,
insane.
that was good. I picked up the old DVD of their live Unplugged.
Yep.
Which I had never seen, just the raw version of that.
Oh,
straight
isn't that
through.
gorgeous?
Yeah, it's great. I mean,
Yeah.
the album's great. But then I picked up Soundgarden. What was there? Bad Motorfinger?
Yeah.
Picked up that on vinyl, and then I picked up World Domination, which is the story of Sub Pop.
Yeah.
Got Anya a shirt, got some stickers, and so I could have spent a lot more.
When I came up from Vegas and we stopped there, I bought a Sub Pop hat.
I was looking for a hat I wanted, and I just couldn't find one. And I was getting tired, dude.
Yeah,
Being
yeah.
on my I had been pretty much out for 8 days. I get up and walk around the hospital every now and then. But from that point to when I got in the plane, I was on my feet for like almost 4 hours, and I was feeling it.
I bet.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
And then being on that plane with that wound, I wasn't sure how that was going to go.
Be on,
All
the,
right.
be on the lookout, too. Funko released yesterday the announcement that they are dropping a Gretzky in Kings jersey. We will
Nice.
have that here in the shop.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're local here, come check out the shop.
Adventures Underground, 1391 George Washington Way.
You'll find.
Oh,
it,
they got a
trust me.
Flurry one that should be out by now. I think.
Nice.
I think I've got it on the way. I've ordered all of them just for us. So
Yeah.
Nice.
I have 2 of them so far. I have the Price and I have the Lundqvist one.
yeah,
And I need flour.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
I
do.
need flour.
You need flour in your life for sure.
Yeah.
Buriedpuck.com. Now that we're back in the saddle, there are once again I say it all. There's things in the works, but now there really are things in the works after our almost 8-week break I had to take.
Yeah. There's more you and I got to talk about too.
Oh, yeah.
Renewed vigor.
yeah, it's
we
there.
return with vengeance.
2019 is going to be a good year across the board, so I'm excited about it. Anything you guys want to close with?
Nothing particular. We're going to be doing a couple of charity events.
Cool.
For diabetes research. We're going to do
Nice.
a role playing one
Nice.
this summer where we're going to you can buy boons like bonuses for your characters for like $5.
Oh, cool.
And that donation all goes straight into the Diabetes Society.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
So we're going to do that again. Other than that, man, just trying to get right and face this new year and be like, I'm actually going to celebrate Chinese New Year this year.
Nice.
And
When does that fall this year?
It's early February, and so we'll be like, fuck 2018, and we'll just move forward now.
Yeah.
With a 1 month buffer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like an old YouTube video.
Yeah, January is just like starting an old car. You know, it's just
This is
you gotta
the
warm
year
up.
of the pig coming up. I think, right?
Did I show you my button?
No. You're reaching in a place I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure I want to see that
Is that
button.
what the kids call it these days?
Check
out my button.
All that I want to say before we go is love one another. That sounds like I'm going to start a sermon here. But one thing that I learned is when you come that close to death, there's a lot of shit that just doesn't matter.
It
and a lot of
doesn't. Let
things
it go.
I would get so fired up about before. Dude, just be good. Don't
like,
be an asshole.
Dude, get frozen, man. Just let it go.
For real. There's so many more things important in my life. I watched my kids cry that whole week because they didn't know what was happening with Dad. My sister-in-law had to take like 2 days off of work because she was so distraught about the whole situation. And it's like, okay, you realize what you're going through. There's so many things that are so much bigger.
Yep.
Than the little things we let get to us every day. So I don't want to sound like philosophical and preach at you guys, but just let it go. Let it go. Love your family, love your friends, love each other. BuriedPuck.com.
BuriedPuck.com. BuriedPuck on Instagram,
Shameless
plug.
Facebook.
Shameless plug. It's our fucking podcast. That's what we're supposed to do.
Love one another. And go shopping at Buried Puck.
Buy our merch.
What's live in the world of Twitch and rock fandom?
Oh, man. I don't know.
We're going to be more prepared next week.
It's been
guess we
wild.
will.
It's been wild on my end. I mean, well, you guys were going through some hard times. I was in Vegas living it up, and
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you,
I
Shorzy.
feel guilty. I was like, man, I don't have any like.
No, you
I have
know
no
what,
idea
dude?
what a lot of this medical talk is, and
Kyle, listen to this, dude.
I hope they're okay.
I said A1C this morning. Kyle's like, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
I'm literally sitting in the hospital looking at your Instagram going, fucking thank God that dude's out there doing something not shitty.
Right.
But here's the thing, too. You know, like, year after year, like, you hear people say, man, fuck this year. And it happens. Like, I totally get it. Like, I think my 2016 was kind of rough, but, like, it is what it is. You know, life moves on. And I think one of the things that I think is most important for me personally is toward the end of the year, I kind of struggled with, like, where I was in life. And I was just like, man, am I doing this right? Am I doing the right thing? And I made, like, some kind of, like, frustrated post on Facebook.
That.
Yeah.
And I did not expect the reaction I got from everybody. Like, all my friends came together, and they were super awesome, super kind, and, like, very motivating, and it was amazing. And
That's because we love you putz.
but it was really eye opening that when I got out of the Army, I wanted to do what I wanted to do with my life.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do something just because it made money. I didn't want to do something because, like, it was, something to do. I wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted, like, I got out, I felt like I retired, and I was like, all right, time for me.
Yep.
And I am not regretting that one bit. Like, granted, I don't make a whole lot of money right now yet.
You're preparing.
But I'm in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing jobs that are going to lead to bigger and better things after I'm done with my degree, and making connections. I'm networking. I'm doing what I want to do, and I don't feel bad about it one bit.
No,
so,
you're killing it, brother.
Power to the Kyle.
Yeah,
man.
it's been fun with hockey, with the Americans and with Trivium and all this stuff. Like I should be, like, thankful every day, and I am. And I'm glad that, like, all my friends kind of helped me put that into perspective. And
Dude, it all comes down to you got to live your life like Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
I can't complain, but sometimes I still do.
Yeah. Like, no, I had a moment of frustration. I was like, am I? Well, more so, I was just kind of, like, lost. I was like, am I doing the right thing? Is this what I should be doing? And
You were at a crossroads.
Yeah, I was, and
There's nothing wrong with
I was
that, man.
impatient. Like, I really just want to get on and get out there and do some work, but gotta finish.
Gotta pay those dues.
Yeah, man.
Gotta pay those
Gotta do
dues.
the time in WSU, I guess.
Absolutely. We're wrapping it up this week. We have
It'll be more lighthearted next week. I
Yeah,
promise.
it's less medical details about regions.
I think we'll mention hockey at least once or twice next.
Probably.
Fuck, man.
I just wanted to make sure everybody was up to speed where we're all at, and a personal touch. You
Yeah.
know, this is what we went through.
This episode was Ferda boys
for sure.
So with that, my name is Corey Gaston. With me saying farewell, Adam Piper.
Adam
What
Piper.
the fuck did I just do? Aaron Piper.
Adam
Ferda.
Allegedly.
and to
Kyle Hout.
and to end that all off on the topic of today, give your balls a tug.
Tit fucker. Ferda.